Welcome to Uncaged. Today we're speaking with Michael Schlegel. Michael, it's great to have you on the show.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me today.
Now, way back when I got to work a lot with telcos, when I was doing mobile marketing, but we will be going back into the world today of telecoms. Michael is the VP of Sales Americas for the telecom space for VertiGIS, and we'll talk more about what VertiGIS does, but they are a leading global provider of geographic information software and solutions. And so we'll talk a little bit about what GIS is, how GIS is critical today, and really some of the moves that Vertigis is making. Michael, it's great to have you on the show. Before we get into the Vertigis story,
Yeah.
let's talk about the Michael story. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thanks for having me and thanks for the setup. I like to tell people I'm a geologist by training and a salesman by choice. So I originally went to school to drill wells in the deepwater Gulf of Mexico and
Nice.
got hired on right out of working on a master's degree. And I absolutely loved helping solve complex problems. And just really, that really kind of drove me. Of course, the oil and gas industry, as it does, that ebbs and flows.
Mhm.
Oil was $10 a barrel and got laid off. But what I really understood is that at that time, my mentor, he couldn't find a job either, and he had 25 years of experience, kind of like I do today.
Mhm.
And what I really cared about is solving these complex problems. And through that, I had to make a career pivot. So I looked, okay, I enjoy helping people. And I got into sales, and I've been in sales and sales management for the last 25 plus years, which is, yeah, so it's been, through that experience, I've worked in a variety of different industries, not just GIS and
Mhm.
telco, but selling premium construction materials, selling premium automotive solution and products and stuff. So this idea of a premium product that provides value to an organization that can help streamline the way that they do things is really what's kind of that experience has kind of molded me into who I am today and kind of how I've got to Vertigis.
And I mean, Vertigis, really interesting company. I mean, I don't know what it is. I'm so fascinated with sales right now. I feel like I feel as a business discipline, it's probably one of the least understood disciplines, and people seem to think that it's easy or basic, but man, today it's so scientific and so psychological if it's done right. But I mean, I love that you're playing that role for such an interesting company. But tell me a little bit about Vertiges.
Yeah. Our goal as an organization is to be the global leader in spatial asset management. So obviously, I support the telecommunications side of our business, but we really have four key markets. We have state and local governments or countries, utilities. So you think of all the different utilities, waste, water, electric, gas, you name it, district heating,
Hmm.
kind of facilities management, and telco.
Hmm.
Well, we split out telco because the way that people generate revenue is different, right? So that's a different key thing to be able to differentiate and different business processes in order to support that and stuff. So in the 3 plus years I've been here, we've seen just enormous growth. Our telecommunications business is one of the growth engines here at Vertigis.
Cool. And I mean, we talk a lot about communications providers in general kind of shifting over into being really not only just comms providers but technology providers. Tell me a little bit about what's driving that shift.
You know, and it's really kind of started to change here. And I want to speak directly to some experience here in the Americas. But business models are fundamentally changing. Companies are not just little incumbent local exchange carriers. They've got competitive the ILEX and CLEX. They're not just providing telephone service anymore. So this growth, and of course we're seeing growth through the BEAD funding and stuff that's happening here in the U.S.
Yeah.
Uh, Data centers are driving a lot of this expansion of being able to have those, and they've got data centers in their serving areas now, right? So they're not just little local mom and pop organizations that are providing that. So they're getting more and more complex, and they're needing middle mile to be able to meet these data centers and higher capacity networks. And
Yeah.
they're really rethinking how they're providing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I imagine that will continue. I mean, I think we all seem to kind of walk this road over the last kind of like I'd say 10, 20 years where it was like 2G, 3G, 4G, but I don't know how long that can go.
No, and I mean, when you start to think about what people are providing and what customers are frankly demanding,
Hmm.
it's not just okay. We just need a 1 gig. We need 10 gig, and now can they have the throughput and the capacity? Do they truly need that today? No. But when we start looking at okay, technology providers changing from just a communication and a service provider, the way that organizations need to support their operations is
Hmm.
fundamentally changing because of this growth. So
Yeah.
the change is either change or we'll get left by the wayside. So when we start,
Is that the big pressure that they're feeling? I mean, is that when you think of kind of telcos and fiber operators and their biggest worries right now, is that the pressure? Is it being left behind or what's driving them to kind of make changes on their networks and operations?
I think part of that is the pressure, but I also think that operators today, they've had all these different technologies come in to be able to help support, right? So they maybe had the inside plant, the engineering teams, they had the outside plant, they have planning, they have customer service, they have the network operations center, and they've got all these different groups and they've got all these different systems that are disconnected. So when
Hmm.
you start thinking about the pressures and the challenges that customers are facing, all of these things slow down decision making and obviously creates bottlenecks, right? So there's no single platform that will ever cover all of those, right? If somebody says that, I would run away. But for us, when we think about being able to be absolutely critical is these integrations and network inventory management,
Yeah.
and being able to have a solution like VertiGIS has to be able to support that platform, to be able to support those workflows as they move throughout the organization.
Yeah.
We know that their data isn't clean, right? It's not consistent. So when you start thinking about the accessibility of that, how do you manage that, and how do you reduce those pressures of clean data, consistent data, accessible across everybody within the
Yeah, I mean,
organization?
I think you're kind of alluding to it, but I mean, that area of like network inventory management,
Yep.
certainly maybe a lot of people would have seen that maybe more as like a back office function in the past. But I mean, the way you talk about it, it's so critical from a strategic perspective.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'll use a marketing analogy, Bent, that you'll probably appreciate, right? I mean, network inventory system has been shouting in the closet for
Yeah,
years. Now, when we start to think about that inventory that's being managed, that data is the new currency within not just
yeah,
telecommunications, right? I mean, but it is now starting to get the forefront. So as we start to think about and recognizing the accessibility and being able to access that, the real-time decision making is important. So what's at the heart of that data? It is network inventory, and it's
right.
not on the sidelines anymore. When customers can share that data and share it effectively throughout all the different business units and kind of groups that I mentioned earlier, critical decisions can be asked. So
Hmm.
what is our capacity in our network in the Northeast serving area? Can we support new customers? Do we have the capacity? Can we support this new data center? Where should we invest next?
Hmm.
These insights that the data that you're managing effective, that needs to be shared across the organization, can make companies be nimble and be more effective, and is really kind of shifted away from this back office, hey, I'm just managing this stuff in this database or in this system, to we have this data, how do we leverage it, and how do we make sure that people can truly grow and be able to have the data that they need to be more effective.
So, I mean, I think I might know your answer here, but let's say I'm going to give you kind of a dream situation here. You find yourself in the hot spot, the leadership spot at a major telco, and you have to future-proof that organization. What are you thinking about to future-proof it from a network perspective?
From a network perspective, it's how do we how do we have a system that allows us to make in the most real time questions and ask questions of the data that we're managing? So do we have a system? Do we have integrations with other billing and customer systems and network operations center? Do we have a solution that VertiGIS can provide that allows you to be able to have all of that network inventory, from the physical inventory to the logical to planning, to be able to support all the different groups and be able to share that data as effectively as possible? So our Connect Master solution allows that in real time to be able to do monitoring and in being able to pull in information from the field.
No, I mean, Michael, we couldn't have a business conversation in 2026 without me utilizing the acronym AI at some point.
Yes, you're right.
But I know you're a big fan of acronyms.
Yes, as you
But
can
but
tell.
yes, exactly. But I mean, clearly machine learning is reshaping business. And when we hear about the trillions of dollars that are going to be invested this year alone in this space, it is the name of the game. It is the top discussion. I mean, what needs to be in place for operators to really think about this technology in a, I'd say, like a effective way, rather than just kind of giving it a buzz.
Yeah, I see AI probably in the next six months to 12 months really starting to have some value in network inventory systems. There's a
Hmm.
lot of players that are starting to talk about that. We're actually doing work as well, but it's just a tool today.
Hmm.
It's not really being integrated, but we're starting to see those things of when you start looking at valuations of companies, right? What is our capacity in our network? So
Hmm.
how much capacity do we have? So when you start looking at valuations, what is the valuation of our organization? How much additional capital can we infuse to grow? So AI is driving a lot of those, and people are making those decisions today without it. But it's going to speed that up, and it's going to be more effective and easier for people to be able to do some natural language and pop that question in and being able to get that information. But AI, data centers, being able to support all of that is
Yeah.
something that we at VertiGIS welcome, and we're supporting, and we're continuing to grow. As we look at VertiGIS, we've got a kind of a framework called VertiGIS Neo that is cloud and AI centric, and that's going to be coming down for our telecoms group as well. We've already kind of started to deploy that into our utilities practices and stuff as well. So it's a good point that you bring up, Ben.
Well, let's talk about the future. Here we are in 2026. I tell you, sometimes I think back of all the insanity that's occurred in the world over the last, 6, 7 years. So I'm happy that we're here in 2026,
Yes.
Michael. We made it.
For
But I
now.
mean, for now. But tell me a little bit about what you see on the horizon in terms of, obviously all the telcos are facing more complexity, more kind of legacy constraints, all that type of stuff. What do you think is on the horizon for us?
What I'm seeing customers, and really what's driving a lot of what our business is doing, is that there's legacy systems that
Hmm.
are out there that they're great. They've been used for a long time, but you mentioned it, is that how are people future proofing
Yeah.
their companies, and future proofing is something that we're seeing more and more of in these questions. We've got
Yeah.
old legacy systems, we've got old workflows across our organizations. How do we support a more connected approach to asking questions of the data that we're managing? I mentioned earlier, data is kind of the currency. So
Yeah.
how do we share that from and have an integrated system?
Yeah.
That's really what's driving it, because there's a lot of companies that have wonderful systems and they're doing things well, but for the next 2, 5, 10 years, that's going to exponentially change the growth, like you said, complex networks, more customers, BEAD funding, all of this stuff. So are you ready for future proof? Do you have a solution and have a way to move yourself forward instead of staying what you've been doing for the last 5 to 10 years?
Yeah.
As you know, right? I mean, if you're doing the same thing now, 2 years from now, you're not going to be moving forward. And at
No.
the rate of technology change, it's going to affect you, and it's going to affect your business.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I think things are changing so quickly in my direct world. And, when I talk to people that are playing on the leading edge of some of these technologies, it's incredible what we're going to see. So I'm very, very excited. But VertiGIS is making it easy for folks to tackle some of these challenges, which is great. Michael, if someone wanted to learn more about what you and the team are working on, where's the best place to find you?
I'm on LinkedIn. Obviously, you can find me on LinkedIn. VertiGIS.com. We have our solution. You can reach out to us there. We are here to help and support. We've got a global team, not just in the Americas, but we've got people all over the globe, from Southeast Asia to India to Middle East to the DACH region. VertiGIS is ready to help support your organization as they want to future-proof their network inventory needs. Streamline, it's really about the digital transformation, right? And that using the buzzword of digital twin, we can help support people in being able to be more effective with the way that they manage their data.
Yeah, I mean, it's only going to become more and more important for sure as this transformation shifts even more aggressively going forward. Michael, thank you again for so much for being on the Uncaged show today. We look forward to having you back.
Thanks, man. Have a great week.
Cheers.